Welcome back to another sixth session of Gen X here on the Extreme Sports Channel. Coming up, we meet Swiss wakeboard wonder Cyril Cornero, witness more insane skateboard talent from the Slam City Jam, and paint the town multicoloured with graffiti artist Misery. But first up, we're going to find out what it takes to judge a snowboard contest. At the Quick Pro in Les Arcs, we got chatting to the men who decide what's hot and what's not in the world of pro snowboarding.
Well, we have the greatest judging team. I should tell you about these guys. We have head judge El Capitan, Danny Kiwi-Meyer.
I'd like to introduce you to my judging panel. Down here we have Marek Schneider from the Czech Republic.
Marek Schneider, guy who broke his back in a place called SPC summer camp a couple of years ago, paralysed from the waist down. Guy does kickers. He would actually do this main kicker on his sit ski, off his head, one of our judges.
Here we have Tommy Toiminen, finished
Pro skater, pro snowboarder for years and years. The guy is one of these people that actually knows every single trick to the point he can actually call a trick before you land it. If you even thought about your trick, he's telling you what you're doing.
This is Mike Ranquit from the States.
Legend skater, legend snowboarder, all the early movies, roadkill, all the way to the line, none of our judges. And we have Mr. Ahmed Yubi. Ahmed Yubi, main man.
What you want? Go away, please.
Those four with me decide what's going on out there, at least with the critics. The panel that I've selected for judging this year, they're all pro snowboarders or ex-pro snowboarders, and they have a better feel of what's going on the style market, what's going on technically, and it's better input for the riders and it's a better result for the contest.
The atmosphere is really good. We got a really nice judging crew together, so it's all nice and mellow and pretty funny at times.
It's not all watching what you love. These guys have a responsibility to see that the best rider wins.
It's not an easy job.
I got up this morning at 8 o'clock, ate some nuts and water so I had an empty stomach, come here, check the snow conditions, make sure that my judges are here on time.
Lazy. Can't even walk. He just has to have his own chair all the time. Laziest snowboarder on the face of the earth. Good judge though.
And it's pretty intense. We have to be right on bang with who's on the course, which rider, make sure the points are out in time and stay within the timing of the whole event.
If you can tell a cab 9 from a frontside 7, you're on your game, but what about everyone else?
For a grand, you can just tell it, see who's going big, who's got volume in the jumps, who's smooth in the air, who seems to have flair and style. That's probably all you can tell a grand. She'll have her favourite. In judging, we're looking at 4 specifics. It's volume, creativity, technique, and style. With volume, we're looking for the height of the air, how far they're going, how long they're riding on the rails. With the variation, we're looking for types of lines that they're riding.
The one run, rip it on a rail, one run, rip it in a pipe. Variety of tricks, you don't want to see the same trick.
With technique, we're looking for their technique within the trick, how technical it is and how well it's executed.
You don't want to see falls or butt checks or sketchy landings or rolling down the windows,
You flail, you're out. Control means stability and quiet rotations. Of course, at the end, we also look for style.
You make a difference between a huck and a controlled spin. You can see it from a person's style. If you have one person that does a cap 9, he grabs it all the way, and if he's in control, you can see. Someone is going huge and smooth. In my vision, he's better than if someone's doing hard technical tricks, but little sketchy, and small. So it still keeps the same spirit like the years before.
So what makes the Viking snow warrior Terje Haakonsen so damn hot?
That's what I was talking before about the old school style, You've seen him doing his frontside air in a half pipe, or just beautiful lean backside, on the corner, just stylish, super smooth. That's what it is, So he's definitely the man. I'm tired on the end of the day, but I'm looking forward for another day to judge more, because people riding better and better, If semifinals, finals. So it's not a hard job on the end. My name is Cyril Cornero. I come from Switzerland. I'm 24 years old. Got into wakeboarding because I was snowboarding, skateboarding, and then I live on a lake in Switzerland. Saw some people doing some water skiing, and then they were doing wakeboarding, got interested and started doing it.
Now I tax my brain and my thoughts are sustained. The subject is plain, but queries still remain. I hear about it all the time and it passes me by. Then I stop and contemplate, the question is why. I give a sigh, but never quite comprehend. After this happen, things never seem to mend. Are parts of our life which we all have to deal. Some more than others, and for some will be cruel. But still the deflation, parallel to the frustration. Nothing can prepare, no amount of education. Through the war, through the jungle, don't know when it ends. Obstructions in our path, will fade be our friend? I try to see ahead of me, when will it be? Puzzled answers, no...
The 96 European Tour was my first tour. I went there with the Traeger brothers, like Swiss team. It's pretty cool, like I didn't really know nobody. I was wakeboarding since a year, didn't expect nothing. It just like went for 2 weeks in Florida, trained a little bit before that with the Traegers, and that was pretty cool. It was a big party when we got there.
Do you ever think about that time in your life? That time in your life. That time in your life.
Yeah, I went over to the States for the past 5 years to learn how to wakeboard, learn how to coach, because it was the only place for me to go ride. In Switzerland, there's nowhere to ride in the winter time, it's too cold. I got that done, and now I'm just in Spain trying to ride and get my training done for the season and check out for a wakeboard school. Yeah, I'm here in Granada in Spain, just trying to work a little bit, do some coaching and trying to do some camps, and right under the Sierra Nevada is a really nice place. I train a lot, that's most of my time, and then I coach in different places, different schools. I organize camps, travel around, do photo shoots, clinics.
To find any comprehension, looking on like if I try believe, forced to ask the question, will there be suffering? Is the pain harsh and sore, confusion, abuse, and reality barely mentioned? Push beyond that ponder, I listen my suggestions. What's the point disjointed? I ask my vocation. This gets me down cause I've not found the path I have in store. Sometimes feeling fine, but that's no consolation. Soon be stressed again, the moments I'll be facing. Back in the mess of my thoughts that's erasing my head into my belly, and the game is on once more. Think about that time in your life. That time in your life. That time in your life.
My best results were Europeans. I won the European Tour 97, 98, and did European Champion 98. If you don't do any competition, you don't really get yourself shown and you don't really get any sponsors, so you really have to do competitions. It's hard for us Europeans to just live like from photo shoots and clinics like most of the Americans do. So I gotta compete. I used to like it a lot. Now I kinda do it because I have to. Sometimes I do still like it. For 2 years I couldn't do a final, so I was really frustrated. I really hated it, and now I'm starting to get back into it and like into riding contests again, so we'll see what happens. I would like to be remembered as a overall good rider, like sider, spinning, going high, having good style. The future of wakeboarding is hard in Europe because gas is expensive. Don't have a lot of people that know about wakeboarding right now. So that's why we need to have more wakeboard school, cable parks, and so people can see it, do it, try it. Because I've never heard anybody that tried it that don't like it. So that would help,
Don't move from your seat because coming up in part 2 we meet snowboarder Xavier Hoffman, go bowl riding with the godfather of skate Steve Caballero, and hit the streets with female graffiti artist Misery. See you in a sec. Welcome back to part 2 of Gen X. Coming up, we meet the gentleman of snowboarding, Xavier Hoffman. Check out the spray paint talents of female graffiti artist Misery. But first, we head to Vancouver for the biggest skateboard event of the year, the Slam City Jam. Now we head back over to beautiful British Columbia's city of skate, Vancouver, for our second instalment from the Slam City Jam. Though before stepping foot in the Coliseum, our first stop is the Hastings Bowl Jam sesh.
Last year, for the first year, I missed this contest, and I missed the bowls most of all. I gotta go skate the bowl, you know, hanging out with Renee and chilling in the bowl section.
We grew up on transitions more than actually just riding ramps, so it was more like backyard pools and things like that. There's so many different avenues of skateboarding, yet things like this tie it all together.
Only a couple of years old, Hastings is considered one of the best bowl parks in the world. And once a year, all of the top bowl riding legends drop in to prove they can still carve it in the basin.
Yeah, it's great to just, see guys like Steve Caballero and Kevin Staub out there ripping, and, Mike McGill still doing McTwists, and Steve Cab, inventor of the Caballero, so it's great to see the legends out here killing it.
It's a free-form jam sesh that's open to all, with the biggest bucks handed out for the biggest tricks.
It's anarchy. That's the way it's supposed to be. Just everybody go and everybody have a good time. There's no rules or anything like that. The guys are really stoked, to lay it on the line for a little extra cash. It always helps to motivate and get everybody fired up,
Fired up indeed was Andy Mack, who gunned the bowl to stomp down the biggest trick of the day.
I shouldn't have gave all the money away. How am I going to get the girls, to get wild with it,
I just gotta say, I think this is one of the funnest places I've ever came to. The attitude up here with all the skaters is just so lax and just exactly the brotherhood that it's supposed to be. Skateboarding is so big in this town. Like walking down the street, you'll see just random people wearing all kinds of skate gear, and they're like hardcore fans, and like you'll go shopping and what are you doing here? And they're like, oh, I come here for the contest. They're like, oh yeah, I go see that thing every year. It's like, it's cool. It's cool to see that going down.
Now we play for points as we head inside for the Vert Finals on the mother of all ramps.
I can't wait to pad up right now, stretch out, and I'm going to get up there and fly, because this ramp is nothing. This ramp is so juicy, it's good.
The ramp wasn't the only newcomer to Slam City, as snowboarding's favourite son, Shaun White, turned up to stage his pro skate debut.
Snowboarding, you got like giant boots and your board and you have your set stance, and then you get on a skateboard and it's just getting that feeling of having your board with you back. It's so strange and it takes a while, so I think I'm kind of ready though. It's his first pro contest, but I think he can do well. He's got the tricks, he's just got to put them together.
The qualifying rounds decided the rankings for the main event, with Shaun White connecting his lines to punch into the number 3 spot. Though you would have plenty of opposition in the finals up against the likes of Andy Mack and Brazilian style master Sandro Dias.
That's a tough one. All the top guys are ripping, so it's kind of like apples and oranges, which is the best, Different styles, different tricks, it's tough to call.
White stepped up and dropped like a pro, carving out an almost flawless run that would earn him a place on the podium, yet another coveted spot at the X Games. Securing the number 2 spot was Andy Mack, whilst way out in front was our man from Brazil, Sandro Dias, who was continuing a remarkable winning streak to add the Slam City Jam Vert crown to his ever-growing list of accolades.
My first one was good, and my second one was better.
This is definitely the best Vert final I think I've ever seen, ever, for
sure, right. Big contest I won in Australia, I won in Brazil, and I won here. I can't believe it. I'm so happy.
Whilst high in the Alps, the Gen X crew caught a ride up the mountain with the gentleman of German snowboarding, Xavier Hoffmann.
It's warm and spring, and you see I'm tanning my face, and yeah, it's cool. Oh, my life, it's not just riding, as people might think. It's a lot of organizing, talking to people, trying to get stuff free or just cheaper. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty nice life.
In one of the youngest competitive sports in the world, at 28, Xavier still remains at the top of his game.
I'm an old fart. I'm an old fuck. I got more experience, say if you have a bad pipe or not that perfect kicker, it's better for me. Because I've done this before, and the kids, they're freaking on it. They're like, I can't ride this! And I know, like, you can ride this, totally. You've done it before, so just think back 10 years and then you have the same pipe. Some people take it too serious now. They're so stressed about it, like, dude, I have to be good, otherwise it's not going to work out. They have to be easy and enjoy snowboarding, and then they're doing good results. Snowboarder is a snowboarder. One guy is like totally about fashion. He's all about like, I have to look right, otherwise I can't ride. Yeah, and then there are guys who, they like to ride in-city, rails, kickers. There are guys who just straight go to the mountain. They're like, I'm going to go up and hike a mountain and just ride it down, just for my own feeling. They're different in their thinking, in their mind. I like riding pipe, flying around to get the trick in here to the snow, to the board, like as I want it. I'd love to do old stuff where they're like, oh, this is old school. I at least can do it. And hand plant, you can't? No.
Despite 10 years at the forefront of the freestyle scene, Xavier still gets the butterflies a-twitching before every big run.
Some riders are not fighting at all. They're like, whatever, I know I can do it. They have self-confidence, like this. When before my run, my self-confidence is like this. And then if I do a good first hit, it's going off. I'm like, okay, sick, I stomped it. Next one. Then I'm getting hot. Bah, you push it, and it's nice. And you have a good run. You step it too far, and then you crash. It's always to find the middle way. People tell me like, you're the old fart, and then after the contest they're like, dude, you can really ride, I didn't think this. I think, okay. In the early days, the satisfaction was like, dude, I'm 40th place, but I beat this and this guy. Sick. And now I'm old and like, he's 17 and he's way in the back. No, it's bad.
I like mixing something that's really sort of depressed or miserable or kind of paranoid with cutesy kind of stuff and slightly evil. It sort of started when I was at school really, and I started seeing a person that did graffiti.
I met Tans at high school. We were both went to Metro up here in Auckland in 1996.
My first time was on K-Road doing a big character in front of heaps of people. I was embarrassed and scared and stuff, but it was really cool, and it's just nice to work in a different medium.
I like that her work, there's no actual, there's no kind of art now, it's really honest.
To tell the truth, I usually just start with the eye and it kind of grows from there.
It's all self-portrait work really, I think.
Maybe they are a little bit self-portrait in a way. I hope I don't look like a dripping beaver thing though. We often do really big productions with say 10 10 to 15 artists and stuff and plan out a wall and do sketches beforehand and make it look really cool.
I mean, we spent a good part of 4 or 5 years as, writing partners in crime.
When I got into graffiti, it wasn't about fame or anything, it's just sort of about getting my work out there and doing exactly what I do in my books on paper but on the wall. I like it, I think it's cool. I think Misery came about just really because of the way my characters look. I think the name really suits my characters too. It's definitely growing on them. So, and it's stuck.
Probably my favourite stuff because, like, apart from like her stuff on the street, there's probably like her stuff she's done like for Illicit for their t-shirts. It's really nice.
Illicit is just a really funky street clothing label, and they incorporate lots of sort of New Zealand artists' work and stuff. Misery Devils, they're also going to be on like hoodies and stuff and badges, I think. The chewing gun candy shirts, badges, she's my favourite. Bags, there's a character called Honey, it's new goth girls. It's like a completely different style to my street art, like no drips, it's really clean cut. And yeah, very, very different, but I like it heaps, I'm going to work with it more often. I think graffiti is becoming more and more, I don't know, just a bigger, wider range of things now, like sculpture, it's posters, it's everything, eh? It's not just spray can art anymore. This is like one of the main bus routes of Auckland. This is coming down Simon Street, so everyone on the bus can see our work, and it's good coverage, good scope. It's good not to need an art gallery to exhibit your work. You can exhibit it anywhere and hundreds more people will see it this way. About 2-3 months ago we did like a big collaborated wall with some other graffiti writers and it was really beautiful and stuff, and we did get snapped, but they told Tanya they were going to deport here. They told me they were going to send me away, but yeah, the police caught us. But they thought it was rather lovely, so they let us. Okay. I'll always do it for a really long time. Now it's time for our homegrown teaser, the place on Extreme where you call the shots. We want to see you guys keeping it real, be it at your best or your worst, on holiday at home or on the streets.
Homegrown is all about our viewers, real people who watch the Extreme Sports Channel. Whether clocking up the air miles on your vert ramp or dropping in on your mate in the surf, we want to see it. Send in your clips and tell us what you were doing and why. And if you're an unsigned band and want to get heard, then send in your music and give us a wicked soundtrack. Check out extreme.com for full details.
That's it for another epic show on Gen X. Extreme's Film Fest starts tonight at 7 and midnight with the bodyboarding flick The Hard Life, and stay tuned for Concrete Wave coming up next. Bye for now.